The city intersection was a chaos of flashing lights and frustrated honks, a backdrop to Senator Thorne's flustered press conference. Pointing an aggressive finger at a nearby idling semi, he boomed, "This traffic, these careless truck drivers are a blight on our city." Inside his truck cab, Elias Vance heard the senator's words crackle through his radio. His jaw tightened, a muscle twitching beneath his stoic facade. Outwardly calm, he gripped the steering wheel, but a quiet, searing fury simmered within him, a dignity attacked by a stranger's careless, public condemnation. Later that day, in his small apartment, Elias watched the evening news replay Senator Thorne's outburst, his own truck prominently featured. News anchors repeated the politician's blame, and online, social media comments exploded. Irresponsible truckers ruining everything. Elias scrolled through the vitriol, the screen's harsh light reflecting in his tired eyes, feeling a crushing weight of injustice. The next morning, his dispatcher called him in. "Elias, I'm sorry," the man said, avoiding eye contact. "Due to the negative publicity, we're reassigning your most lucrative overnight routes." Elias's quiet questions about his impeccable record were met with apologetic shrugs, the first cracks appearing in a career built on reliability. The harsh fluorescent glow of his small apartment kitchen did little to soften the reality laid bare on the table. A scattered mess of overdue bills. Elias Vance stared at them, each envelope a tiny weight pressing down on his chest. His usually stoic expression was etched with a deeper weariness. He rubbed his temples, the phantom ache of exhaustion settling in. His mind drifted to his younger sister, miles away at college, her bright future, a beacon he was determined to protect. The tuition payments, usually manageable, now loomed like insurmountable mountains. The senator's careless words had not just attacked his reputation, they had threatened the very foundation of his quiet responsibilities, a burden he carried with silent strength. Later that night, slumped in the worn seat of his truck in an empty parking lot, Elias felt the cold grip of defeat. The hum of distant traffic was a mocking lullaby. He sighed, running a hand over the dashboard. His gaze fell upon a small, dark object barely visible above the steering column, the dashcam. He'd installed it just weeks ago, a small investment in safety, a silent witness to every mile. A spark flickered in the darkness of his mind, a forgotten detail suddenly blazing into significance. It recorded everything. Back in his apartment, the only light came from the laptop screen, casting a blue glow across Elias's intent face. With painstaking care, he navigated the dashcam footage from that fateful morning. The digital clock in the corner ticked forward, minute by agonizing minute, until the scene of the traffic jam appeared. Then, there it was. Not his truck, not any truck, but a broken traffic light, stuck on red, causing the entire snarl. His breath caught. A quiet, fierce sense of vindication surged through him. The evidence was undeniable, a crystal-clear rebuttal to every accusatory word. Pre-dawn light barely pierced the kitchen window as Elias nursed a cup of coffee. The dashcam footage paused on his laptop in the background, Senator Thorne's smug face glaring from a crumpled newspaper beside it. The enormity of what he was considering weighed heavily. Challenging a powerful senator, a man who could easily crush a lone truck driver, felt like madness. He almost convinced himself to let it go, to just find another way to make ends meet. But then, his sister's hopeful face flashed in his mind, and the memory of the senator's condescending outburst burned anew. It wasn't just about him. It was about standing up for the truth, for every working person dismissed as unimportant. A quiet resolve settled in his heart. Mid-morning, Elias found himself in the bustling reception area of a legal aid office. The noise and unfamiliarity made him uncomfortable, but his grip on the USB drive in his hand remained firm. He approached the counter, his voice a low rumble as he explained his situation to the receptionist. After a brief, formal exchange, she nodded, her eyes holding a flicker of understanding. "Miss Petrova can see you in a few days," she said, handing him a card with the name Lena Petrova, attorney at law. Elias nodded, a nervous hope stirring within him. The first step was taken. A few days later, in Lena Petrova's small, cluttered office, Elias Vance sat stiffly as Lena watched his dashcam footage on a small monitor. Her focused expression grew indignant as she saw the broken traffic light and Elias's patient, professional conduct. "This is outrageous," Lena stated, her voice sharp with conviction. "He didn't just make a mistake, he publicly defamed you. This isn't just about the traffic. It's about public accountability, about the principle that no one, not even a senator, can carelessly destroy a working man's reputation." Elias, watching her, felt a flicker of hope. A week later, in Senator Thorne's opulent campaign office, a pristine, glossy space, Lena's formal letter landed on his campaign manager's desk. Thorne, leaning back in a plush chair, waved a dismissive hand. "A nuisance suit from some nobody truck driver? Crumple it up. Ignore it." A sneer twisted his lips. "He'll disappear. They always do." His manager, though uneasy, nodded, the legal letter soon finding its way into a wastebasket. A few days later, Elias and Lena stood before the grand entrance of the city courthouse. With Lena by his side, Elias felt a strange mix of apprehension and purpose. Inside, the lawsuit against Senator Thorne's campaign was formally filed. As they emerged, a small local reporter, alerted by an anonymous tip, snapped a photo. "We've taken the first step, Elias," Lena said, offering an encouraging smile. Elias, standing a little straighter, nodded, a quiet determination settling within him. That evening, Elias's apartment hummed with the buzz of his phone. Local news channels, seizing on the courthouse photo and the story, began to feature the dashcam footage. A split screen showed the news report alongside Elias's laptop, where supportive comments flooded in. "Finally, someone's standing up for us," read one. "That senator needs to be held accountable," read another. Public opinion, once swayed by Thorne's words, was beginning to turn. At Senator Thorne's campaign headquarters, frantic activity replaced the usual calm. Phones rang off the hook. Thorne paced furiously, his face flushed with anger. "How did this get out?" he bellowed. His campaign manager urged him to issue a statement. Grudgingly, Thorne agreed, quickly drafting a lukewarm, insincere apology, trying to spin the lawsuit as a, quote, minor misunderstanding. He forced a stiff smile for a brief camera appearance, but the rage in his eyes betrayed his words. Late one night, at a truck stop diner, Elias found himself surrounded by unexpected allies. Fellow truck drivers, waitresses, and other essential workers recognized him from the news. One grizzled trucker clapped him on the shoulder. "They always blame us, don't they?" he rumbled. Others nodded, sharing stories of being overlooked, undervalued, or unfairly targeted. Elias, listening to their quiet grievances, felt a profound shift. This wasn't just his fight, it was a battle for the dignity of every working person. Meanwhile, Senator Thorne was not idle. His campaign, now facing a public relations nightmare, engaged a team of high-priced lawyers. From their opulent office, these attorneys began their counteroffensive, unleashing a torrent of complex motions and discovery requests. Their goal was clear: overwhelm Lena Petrova with paperwork, stall the proceedings, and exhaust Elias's limited resources. Thorne, grim-faced, instructed them to make this nuisance disappear, no matter the cost. Lena's small office became a fortress of determination. Late into the night, she meticulously sifted through the mountains of legal documents from Thorne's team, her brow furrowed in concentration. She coached Elias repeatedly, preparing him for the onslaught of questions and intimidation he would face. "Your honesty is your shield, Elias," she affirmed, her voice steady. "And that footage? It's the sword. We stick to the truth. It's unyielding." Elias, though still quiet, listened intently, the dashcam footage playing softly on a loop in the background, a silent testament to his innocence. The night before the trial, Elias sat in his apartment. The city lights a distant hum. The weight of the coming day pressed down on him, a heavy cloak of apprehension. He thought of his sister, her bright smile and the framed photo on his bedside table, and the future he was fighting to protect. A deep, steadying breath filled his lungs. He wasn't just a truck driver anymore. He was a man standing for truth. With quiet resolve, he prepared to face the storm. The air in the packed courtroom crackled with a palpable tension. Every seat was filled, and the hushed whispers of spectators ceased as Judge Albright entered. Lena Petrova, standing before the jury, presented Elias Vance's case with calm conviction. She spoke of a hardworking man, unjustly maligned. Across the aisle, Senator Thorne sat with a confident, almost bored expression, flanked by his high-priced legal team. His lead attorney, a man with a sharp suit and an even sharper gaze, countered by portraying Elias as an opportunistic individual, seeking to leverage a minor traffic incident for personal gain against a public servant. The battle lines were drawn. Then came Elias Vance's moment on the witness stand. His voice, though quiet, resonated with unwavering honesty as he recounted the morning of the delay. He spoke factually, describing his routine, the condition of his rig, and the unexpected halt. Thorne's lawyers probed, attempting to twist his words, to paint his stoicism as indifference or a calculated performance. But Elias remained steadfast. He answered each question with simple, unprovoked truth, his gaze steady, refusing to be rattled. The jury watched intently, seeing not an opportunist, but a man whose dignity had been unfairly questioned. The courtroom held its breath as Lena Petrova approached the large screen. "Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury," she began, her voice clear. "We now present the unedited footage from Mr. Vance's dashcam." The screen flickered to life, showing the chaotic intersection, the construction, and then, unmistakably, a broken traffic light. Its signals frozen, not functioning. The footage clearly showed Elias's professional conduct, his truck stationary, following all regulations. A collective gasp rippled through the gallery. The video directly contradicted every accusation Senator Thorne had hurled, exposing his reckless statements as blatant falsehoods. Thorne's face paled, his smugness evaporating into a visible shock. Lena then called Senator Thorne to the witness stand. With the damning dashcam footage still displayed for all to see, she methodically cross-examined him. "Senator," Lena's voice was calm yet piercing, "can you explain why you publicly blamed Mr. Vance when this footage clearly shows a broken traffic signal was the cause of the delay?" Thorne stumbled, his once polished demeanor cracking under the pressure. He stammered evasive answers, contradicted himself, and finally, his composure shattered. He erupted in frustrated anger. The image of the powerful politician, so confident just days before, now exposed and humiliated, revealed his true character to every eye in the courtroom. The jury exchanged knowing glances. The courtroom held its breath, a palpable silence hanging heavy as the jury filed back in. Every eye was fixed on the foreman, a stoic woman clutching a folded paper. Elias Vance sat beside Lena, his hands clasped, a tremor barely perceptible beneath his quiet exterior. Senator Thorne, across the aisle, maintained a forced composure, but the slight twitch in his jaw betrayed his unease. When the foreman's voice cut through the stillness, clear and unwavering, declaring, "We the jury find in favor of the plaintiff Elias Vance," a collective gasp, then a ripple of quiet cheers swept through the public gallery. A wave of profound relief washed over Elias, his gaze meeting Lena's, a shared moment of vindication. The judge's gavel struck, a sharp, decisive sound, sealing the truth. Thorne's face, moments ago composed, now sagged in stunned disbelief. Outside the courthouse, a throng of reporters and supporters awaited. Elias emerged, Lena by his side, his younger sister Lily beaming and holding his hand. The microphones thrust forward, a forest of questions. Elias, though still reserved, stood taller than before. "This wasn't about money," he stated, his voice steady. "It was about truth. About every working person who deserves respect, whose dignity can't be bought or trampled on." Lena smiled, a proud hand resting on his back. Lily hugged him tight, her eyes glistening. A banner held high by supporters declared, "Truth for Truckers," a testament that this victory was bigger than just one man. It was a stand for all who had ever been overlooked. Weeks later, in the familiar, bustling office of his trucking company, Elias met with his dispatcher. The air was different now, charged with a new respect. The dispatcher, a gruff man who had once been apologetically firm, now offered a sincere apology. "Elias, we made a mistake. Your roots are back, and we've got some new, more lucrative ones for you if you're interested." Elias nodded, a quiet sense of satisfaction settling in. He was no longer just a driver. He was Elias Vance, the man who had stood up for the truth. Colleagues offered quiet nods of acknowledgement as he passed, his name now displayed prominently on the new schedule. His reputation, once tarnished by a politician's careless words, was not just restored, but shone brighter than before. The hum of the engine was a familiar lullaby, the endless stretch of highway a canvas for Elias Vance's thoughts. Miles melted away under the steady rhythm of his truck, but the road within him felt profoundly different. No longer was it burdened by the heavy weight of injustice, but instead, a quiet strength settled deep in his bones. He reflected on the journey from public humiliation to hard-won vindication. A subtle smile touched his lips, a testament not just to victory, but to a deeper understanding of his own unwavering dignity. The Dashcam, still mounted, quietly recorded the peaceful night ahead, a silent sentinel of truth. Meanwhile, the political landscape shifted dramatically for Senator Thorne. News reports, flashing across every screen, detailed his plummeting approval ratings. His damaged career, once soaring, now spiraled amidst public outrage. His lukewarm, calculated apology was widely criticized as insincere, a desperate attempt to save face that only deepened the public's disdain. Calls for his resignation grew louder each day, a testament to the fact that even the most powerful could not escape the consequences of their arrogance. Back in the city, Lena Petrova's small legal aid office was no longer quiet. Inspired by Elias's story, a steady stream of new clients now filled her reception area, each seeking their own measure of justice. Lena, a quiet champion for the unheard, moved through the bustling space with a calm determination, her voice a beacon of encouragement on the phone. A framed newspaper clipping about Elias's victory, prominently displayed on her wall, served as a constant reminder of the ripple effect one act of courage could create. Elias Vance's journey reminds us that dignity isn't something others bestow upon you. It's something you claim, something you fight for with unwavering truth. It teaches us that every voice, no matter how quiet, holds the power to echo louder than the wealthiest roar, to inspire change, and to remind us of the resilience of the human spirit. It's a story of courage rising in the darkest times, a testament to the everyday heroes who stand up for what's right. Friends, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that courage can rise even in the darkest times, then please show your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to American Folktales. These stories live on because of you, and every comment, every subscription is a reminder that we believe in one another's strength. Please comment below. Do you believe one brave act of standing up can inspire change in the world? Your words may just encourage someone else who needs to hear them today.